in peace. As I come forward to you today, I see that in your world, there are many who need to understand what is happening energetically. Perhaps that is not you, but perhaps it helps you to explain to others when I come forward, to find the right language, to help people get inside to see what's going on. I'm sure you hear a lot in your world of different angles that are, if you like, representing what's going on in your world. Different people coming forward, experts or, doctors, scientists, and each one seems to say something a little different. And you see, your soul, what does your soul need at the moment? We call in all your guides, your helpers, your light body, your higher self. But who is driving this life? You're here for your soul's evolution. So your soul energy is the most important energy in your life, that to honor the truth that is within you. It is one of the most important factors that you follow your soul's purpose, something that is quite amorphous for some, that it's not written. You didn't arrive with a sort of instruction sheet, or did you? It's within you. That's right. It's actually there, this instruction sheet, this program that your soul brings in. And oftentimes it's challenges that come through. It's, you have perhaps a difficult upbringing, a difficult childhood. You have, maybe having a difficult teenagehood. Maybe there's abuse. Maybe there are ancestral problems within your family. So much, if you like, that your soul puts there as the patterns. In fact, before you even come in, the families you choose, the situations, the countries, where you are born, all these factors are coming in, and there's a lot to deal with. And then, of course, there are other people, relationships, and all that life is constantly bringing in front of you, as you grow. And we've got these phases of your life. You have your childhood, teenagehood, young adult, mature adult, and coming on into then still developing right the way until the very moment that you leave your body. And so this concept of your soul's truth, what is it? And how does expanding that, radiating that, emanating that truth of your being, your soul's truth, how does that protect you? Why would that be so? Well, you certainly know that hearing lies makes you feel very uncomfortable. Many of you will have developed that capacity to know, to really deeply feel when something is true or false. And you kind of know what is false because it makes you uncomfortable. It just doesn't quite, that doesn't sit with me. It doesn't, the vibration is not correct. It's not in harmony. There's something not right. And we can say, in that sense, that it's because your soul is not sitting in that central place. It's not in the truth in that way. So here I'm using the word truth as the essential truth, the core truth of your being. We could use the word divine connection, that when your soul is feeling divine connection, it's feeling in truth, it's feeling safe, you feel safe, everything goes well, you feel protected, you feel in harmony, you feel in peace. So yes, in that sense, you're being in your soul's truth is the same as being in alignment with the divine source. So now we're getting a little closer to understanding why feeling in the comfort and peace and wellness and certainty that you are dwelling in the truth of your being. You're not lying. You're not trying to hide anything. You're not pretending. You're not trying to be something you're not. You're not stealing anything. You're simply there, aligned to the divine, in the peaceful and harmonious presence that is your soul's purpose, to be on earth in peaceful, harmonious presence. So if you take a deep breath and you'll feel how are you right now? Do you feel in alignment? Do you feel at peace? Do you feel that if I asked you a question right now, you could just produce a simple, truthful answer that comes straight through your heart from your soul? What is your soul's truth? Is it different from your mental truth, your heart's truth, your body's truth? What does it mean? What is it that when you enact it and embody it gives you this power that emanates from your being and completely protects you against basically all misalignments, or we could say all lies, all that are not in alignment with you and your truth? So they may be someone else's truth, but they're not your truth. And very often, you see, this is what happens. You take on a teacher's truth, a parent's truth, someone else that you admire. You take on their truth, but you don't know your own truth yet. And so, of course, you're vulnerable because you're not in ownership. You're not in simple alignment to the source of your being. You're a little bit off center. And so you can possibly protect yourself because, oh, you're not quite the right shape. So in order to protect yourself, you have to be in the center of your being and aligned to the divine and feel the peace of the presence that is the resonance, the frequency of truth within you, of divine presence, which in many senses is, well, it's beyond the mind. It's not about, if you like, beliefs or dogmas or religions or anything of the mind. It is literally the heart's truth that the soul is expressing. And that when you can feel that and just feel at peace and know, I am good. I am a beautiful soul. I'm here on earth to serve the highest purpose, to come into alignment with all of my being, with divine presence, which is love. I love. I am in love. I'm in a state of love. I'm, because of that, happy and at peace. And as you feel this deep place within you, as you breathe and allow yourself to feel just literally the way you are, to feel at peace with the way you are, even if the way you are is not at peace, if you understand me, that you feel, all right, the truth today is I feel quite disturbed. I'm actually feeling, I don't like some of the things I see going on, perhaps in the world. Or perhaps in my relationship, I'm feeling a bit irritated today. I'm not really in my, in my peace, but I'm in my truth. And by coming into that realization, it's almost as though your soul goes, thank you for speaking the truth. And now I can work with you. Now, because you're sitting in the center of your being and you are owning it, you're taking possession and being in the truth in that moment, it moves immediately. As soon as you've come into that place of speaking from your heart with your soul presence and your deep humility and willingness to own everything you are in this moment, you realize that this thing that is maybe right now not resonating, when you speak it, it moves, it shifts. This part of you that doesn't feel in alignment with the divine, that doesn't feel in love, actually feels quite irritated and fed up. When you say it, when you just say, the truth is in this moment, I'm feeling disturbed, I'm feeling angry, and I offer this up. I offer the steam of this boiling pan. I offer the smoke from my fire. I offer the pain from my misalignment. I offer it to the divine. I give it up. I let it go. I see it. I own it. And I offer it up. And that brings us into, of course, other kinds of practice that we do, like fire ceremonies, like tie cutting. And all of these, if you like, tools or practices, they are all to get you back into the simple alignment with love, which is your essence. So just breathe with me now as we go deeper to understand, how is it that by owning the truth, by going into presence deep within you, by just seeing what is and accepting it and loving yourself exactly the way you are and praising yourself and being kind and compassionate, how that ends up expanding your field and giving you great resilience and protection against any invading negative energies that might diminish you or destabilize you, bring you away from your center, bring you into a focus of, I'm not good enough, this is hopeless, I can't go on like this, or whatever other type of negative thought form that, of course, always weakens your field. Breathing, just feeling within yourself. In this moment, you don't have to have an overview of the week or the whole day even. Just come into this moment. Relax your body. Feel the wonder of this incredible creation that you are. Feel how all this potential is there for you and you are here for it. That your journey is with God, Goddess within you. You are being guided. And just relax and bring your energy into a very peaceful place, resting for this moment. However difficult or problematical this day might have been for you, just keep breathing and arriving into a place of simple ownership. I am as I am. I love myself. I am my own creation, powered by the divine source within. I align myself with my deep willingness to the source of all love, all light, all life. I breathe in and rest deeply. Feel myself held and embraced by golden arms of love. I rest my head in the arms divine, leaning back, resting in this love. And I realize these are my arms holding me. I'm a multidimensional being. I have the power of love. The power of this divine love flows through me. I am whole and complete in this holding. Feel yourself loving you. Feel yourself saying to you, all is well. Whatever may be happening on the outside, whatever disturbing thoughts, fears, emotions are on the inside, I open to the vast holding embrace of divine beings. With all my heart, I send them my love, knowing that the love I send will be multiplied thousands of times and come back to me. For in my humility, in my humanity, I am open to be filled this love and this truth and this presence deep within me. I breathe this love, this golden love from the source, right down into my solar plexus and hara. I breathe and relax. I see that there are small and fragile places within, and I embrace these aspects of my being. I see a child, teenager. I see a younger being than myself, as I am now. I understand that I am eternal. My soul is eternal. And everything that I am acting out in my life is perfect. It's part of what my soul has put here for me to understand. All I need to do is be myself. Be in truth. Be in ownership. Simple presence. That the divine beings do not require me to turn double somersaults. Do not require me to do anything complex other than be in the total deep truth of my being and speak it out into the heart divine. Identify and bring up all that disturbs me, all that I feel is not true, all that has hurt me in the past because it has not been in alignment with the divine source within me. I am the living soul here present on the earth, embodying my higher self. I breathe and expand to the fullness of my being, knowing that I may see imperfections, that I may love even the so-called imperfections and negativities, pain, sorrow, and all of this. My soul wants me to see and own so-called imperfections, pain, wounding, worry, anxiety, fear. I look in with my spirit eyes that see deep, and I see that my soul brought all these things, all these aspects, for me to own them, love them, hold them, value, and honor them. I see parts of my journey in life that have created great disharmony, and I realize that has been a gateway to learn to create harmony. I see all the opposites. I see how the experience of pain leads me towards pleasure. I see how I have the power to change. And when I speak the truth, I start on a firm footing, even if that truth right now is to own pain or to own a feeling of lack of self-esteem or an anxiety or fear. It is the truth. I'm owning it. I'm moving on. I'm creating with it. I'm transforming with it. But it is the truth. And from this truth now, I have the solid ground to walk forward, to expand, in giving away that which I no longer need within me in my self-realization journey. I now can create. The power and the strength of my being, the truth of my soul's shining essence can come through as I clear the space in this speaking of truth. deep down within me, in this owning, I help my soul to fully arrive in my body. Find yourself breathing. It's such a relief to simply be in the truth of where you are, but also to take full responsibility as you see it for transforming it. That you, if you like, you are the clay in your own hands, and your hands are also the hands of God, Goddess, and you are molding yourself and taking yourself in hand and speaking truth and seeing the lumps and the bumps and smoothing them out. This is all part of your creation work, your service in alignment with the divine plan. And the more you expand and allow yourself to be the creator, to see truth, to transform, to have a fluid truth that is constantly being made in every moment. And you realize I'm getting stronger and stronger because I am in charge, because I am arriving, I'm working creatively. I'm allowing myself to change. And the strength of my presence is emanating out throughout my field as I take charge and arrive in the center of my heart and express truth. There can be no greater protection than me standing in my truth in alignment with the divine source. I am the living spirit within. I am the living, transforming, changing, becoming being here in my body. I always come back to my heart to remember the truth of my soul, which is love. It is led by love. It is nurtured by love. It emanates love that encompasses and dissolves all negativity and fear, doubt, shame. I give thanks as the truth of love that my soul brings forward is expressed. I fill my field with the golden light of the divine presence. I honor all that I am. I fill my whole field with this honor and this love that embodies divine presence here and now. It surrounds me with light and personal power. And I give thanks for every experience that helps me to see, to own, and to express and be at peace with the simple truth in any moment. I am protected in the wholeness of the presence of my soul here in my body from the earth. And so it is. Blessings and peace. Just find yourself gently coming back in. Perhaps you have gone very deep. Just gently bring yourself back out to your awareness that there are others, that you are part of a great society, a vast brother sisterhood of humanity who really want to bring the divine plan into being. And all of you are learning to be powerful, strong leaders, leaders of new thinking, new ways to be, new ways to clear the field, new ways to stay safe in an often antagonistic environment. And you are learning to speak the truth one to another, that then strengthens the bonds of love, strengthens the presence of soul here on earth, and it's much needed at this time. It is your presence, you arriving in your soul's truth, in your peace and harmony, that enables you to radiate so much light that you keep safe, and any negative forces are just by definition limited in how much they can spread around you, into you, and around those you may be protecting, such as your family and beloveds. It's very important at this time to understand how your soul is working to guide you back into your heart, fully into your divine presence.
Peace.
Peace, beloved.
So, no questions as of yet. But
No questions.
I thought I would ask a question. From Chung Fu's perspective, where would you say presence comes from?
Within. You know, you see, you are in the physical realm at present. All of you who are coming together here, you're in bodies, physical bodies. And you are also at a time, you have chosen a time to come in upon the earth where there are particular evolutionary events happening globally for the whole earth, the whole of humanity. You can feel that. There are many very important areas of consciousness, intelligent beings coming forward to really talk about the evolution of humanity. And you're also at a crossroads where there are a lot of atheists and agnostic people who, they use a different kind of language. They don't use the words like divine presence or divine essence or, cosmic presence or these kinds of words that depict that you have a multi-dimensional being, that you, in a sense, you go all the way to God, goddess, and back, that you're not just a human being, if you like. You are a human being. That is what you're manifesting, but you also have access to ascended realities, to other beings. And more as this time evolves on, you're going to be seeing beings from other realities. You're going to be realizing, oh, right, well, divine presence it's not only in a human being, it's in all beings. It doesn't mean, God looks, our goddess looks especially like you, for example, and you begin to realize there are so many extraordinary beings in the universe who are evolving all the time the divine plan. And there are those who oppose, who are, that's their task, if you like. That's what they do. They are falling and dropping and trying to grab on, and they are in a different kind of process, which oftentimes they don't even understand. They're not conscious. Many of those beings who are opposing, if you like, standing willfully in the way of the divine plan, or of hurting beings, or trying to, or not realizing even sometimes that they just can't help it, hurting those who are carrying a lot of light. And that's why it's important to know what I'm talking about when I say how to strengthen yourself, how to be in the surety of your heart, of your truth, what you believe, what you know, and how that protects you. It's very important, because sometimes this is what happens. You have some wonderful light beings, but they don't know how to think. They don't realize they're getting affected, and that with all their light energy, they're absorbing some concepts that are not of the light. And before you know it, it's a very damaging thing that happens, where a beautiful light worker who is nevertheless fragile in the mental body, um, it can be thrown completely and invaded, and need quite a lot of help to just come back and create strength in the heart, strength in the core, to be able to bring their soul's purpose in, bring their unique gift in. Every gift is vitally important. Every human being who can rise to their, if you like, higher self presence, who can work on their human emotions and become a truth speaker, who's not afraid, not afraid to speak up of what they see, of, who realize, well, actually, I'll be honest, right now, I'm afraid. They might say, I'm afraid to speak. I got some truth, but I'd like to speak it over here, out of the earshot of those people, but I'll speak it over here. I understand the importance to speak my truth. I also understand my vulnerability. I understand that, the divine presence that radiates in me can cause a great upstirring of negativity in another. And that's very important, you see, because divine presence, we can say, is in everything, but not always is it showing up as the positive emotions. Sometimes what's happening is it's stirring up in order to clear negative emotions, or even causing havoc in certain groups, in order to in a way differentiate, to bring more truth, so that light and dark, or positivity and negativity, can be more clearly worked with, developed. And especially when it comes to the generic situation within your world, where the light workers are creating such a lot of power of healing. And what matters now is to get that healing into the availability of those who need it. That is really the phase we are coming to now. So it's a bit of a long answer, Jerome, but there we are. It's
Nice.
the divine in that sense is everywhere, in all things. It is a mystery. It is a mystical truth, and it is working all the time, and it is coming in that sense from the inner plane and pushing things forward. So whether it's pushing up something you need to talk about, or own, or move on, or whether it's pushing up literally, generations of ancestral pain held within bloodlines, and being pushed into, you could say, self-realization, or the ability of beings to express. And it's coming out in your world, seemingly on the outside, but actually it's all coming from the inside.
Mm. Could you speak on the Mayan prophecies and the shift to fourth density? and what
Well,
that
it's
might mean.
happening. It's happening. I don't know what you want to especially say, but it's happening. This is exactly what you could say. I'm bringing a how-to toolkit to the phenomena that are happening as a result of the shifting out of the purely material and physical third-dimensional reality into the realizations that very important, most important, and this is very much to do with fourth density, is the emotional body, the astral plane. So fourth density is, in another language, the astral plane. For example, you may have heard of the bardo. So this is a description of levels of fourth dimensional reality that the spirit goes through upon leaving the body. And so you see what happens when a lot of beings are ready for that shift to come into more divine awareness, to realize, oh yes, of course, I am the living spirit within. I'm made of light. Oh, how much light? Well, in the fourth density, you begin to realize, oh, gee, I've got quite a lot of darkness over here, and I better look into that because I want to shift that, because I want to be able to spread my wings and start to rise, of course, towards the fifth density. And this understanding, this is going on all the time. Right now, all that you have all been through, which has been very challenging and still is to raise your awareness of, this is the oversoul of humanity. So everybody to whatever measure, and then we'll talk about what that means. But that basically, this is offered to all humanity. Not all humanity can avail themselves of this offer to ascend into the fourth density. They may take it later, or they may, go to spirit, come back again. And this will be a constant evolving situation upon the earth. The earth is itself, of course, living being. This is not just, oh, there are the humans and there's the earth. No, it's a oneness of consciousness that uh, you are part of. Just we say you're part of the divine. You're also part of the earth. When you take a body, when you come into a body, you can feel it. It's so necessary to touch the earth, to work with the earth, to be very much connected in your earth body to the earth. So when you go into fourth density, you might say, well, what happens to the physical? What happens to the third density? Well, it's still there, you see. So don't expect to be suddenly floating around and walking on air and sort of, shooting about the place and kind of levitating. And no. That's not how it is. It's the consciousness that moves into the fourth density. It is a new era, but it's not. When you live in the third density time, it's seconds and minutes, and it's now 2 o'clock and I have an appointment, and it's now 3 o'clock and I have another appointment. It's not like that. When we say um, it is time related in a sense, but it's a much broader time spectrum. And actually, you could say it all started this era. It started about 100 years. It's been moving towards this point, and you can look back and see particular, signposts leading to now. But also, it moves in another way with cosmic time, and that is much more to do with, planets, alignments, star beings, a much more cosmic. Uh, it is like a timing, but it's not in that sense the same as physical time. So then we have that, uh, if you like, fourth density experience. If you could imagine it, when you dream and you have very intense dream and you remember it all day. In fact, you might remember it for the rest of your life, some of your dreams, because they're so real, inverted commas. They are, you say, well, so real. And what you mean by that is that it felt physical, that you can remember it as though it was a physical experience. Well, fourth density reality is pretty much like that. You still got your body. You can still, if you like, come down into the third density if you want to. You can do some things which, require very intense physical type of focusing, but you have more energy because your fourth density body, your astral body is more expanded because you live in it more, because you're able to go places that you couldn't before, because of the opening up of portals of travel, interdimensional travel. And that is now something you can do. And you think, oh my goodness, I had no idea there were so many places to go. You know, boy, I always thought it was a long way from, Timbuktu to Scotland, or, Land's End to Scotland, or whatever the parameters are of physical travel. But now you have the universe, and you're able to travel along the light lines. You're also able to come back into your body and have a really nice meal and enjoy it. But you find that once that you have less desire for a lot of food, you have less desire for um, some of the more dense aspects of physical life. You enjoy more, the emotional, spiritual aspects, and you spend a lot more time there. Time is different. uh, Fourth dimensional time is much more, well, I would in a way use that dream analogy for your understanding, that it sort of stretches out more, and you are more available to more beings for communication. And that is the other thing, the last thing, really, because I could go on a lot about it, obviously, but beings who right now might be a little bit, well, you say that being's there, Chung Fu, but I can't see that being. Well, you'll see that being, because I'm just looking into the fourth dimensional field, fourth density field in your language, and I'm seeing that being. That's why I'm telling you about it. So you have more of an ability to see the beings who are actually spirit beings. They don't have a physical body, so unlike you, they can't go back, if you like, and have physical experiences. They can't also do that, but they can dialogue with you, and uh, and connect with you, and in a sense lead you into their reality. And so I also want to mention all the beings living in the earth, that you find yourself in another dimensionality of the earth, and you realize, oh, you can go into that mountain, and you go down there, and you can go all the way. Oh my goodness, this is a huge place. I didn't realize how much is going on inside the earth. And then, of course, you discover, oh, there's a lot to do. There's actually, there's a lot going on to claim the fourth density, to be, in that sense, uh, bringing in the divine plan through all the levels. So I can go on, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. Peace.
Peace. We have a question from Rachel Dyer, and she asks, um, regarding common law, would it be a good idea for us to do role plays together with a common law script to prepare for any times when we might need to say these common law words, especially if we are under stress?
Yes, I would certainly agree that it's a language. And like with any language, it's one thing to read it, it's quite another thing to speak it. And because you've been speaking, well, it's not plain English actually, or plain any language, but you've been taught to speak a certain way. And there are lots of concepts inside the way you speak that that get challenged, of course, when you use, um, in a sense, a new vocabulary. Now that's, so I would say to you, well, um, choose how you're going to do that. Choose, you know, uh, people who do actually understand. Otherwise, you're just going to spend the whole time of your experiment or your practice teaching. So I think there does need to be just a bit of understanding about the language, and then perhaps there are some scripts that you can follow, or exercises that are given. But yes, absolutely, you need to practice speaking. The spoken language and the read language, the written and read language and the spoken language, they come from a different part of the brain. So, yes, absolutely. It's a very good idea. Peace.
Emily Shalom asks, are we a failing species, too stupid and destructive to survive? Why does there seem to be a shortage of awake people in the world? Why do men kill the bringers of truth and light? Thanks in advance.
Mm. Well, you know, what I want to say to you, beloved, is that humanity has been transforming and evolving for a very long time. And there has always been an element of, if you like, those new souls coming in, and very old souls leading humanity on in consciousness. There always has to be the new souls coming in. Now the trouble is, at the moment, it's not really it is about humanity, but it's not altogether only about humanity, because what you have got in the uh, in the fourth dimensional world, which is what we were talking about. So there's ascending into fourth density, and there's also what has been happening in fourth density that's been being worked on for a really long time, which is the presence of a very negative force trying to influence and overpower humanity. So humanity, you see, and that's also a very big thing to say, because, you know, what is humanity? There are so many races. There are so many body types, so many species, so many star beings amongst, here on Earth. So which beings are Earth beings? Which beings are Venusians, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Syrian beings? Which beings are coming from completely other parts of the universe at the moment, visiting and doing their mission, their job, and how are they interfacing? We had that question about, fourth density reality as we ascend. Well, yes, but there are fifth density beings coming here as well, who are helping those ready to come into the fourth density. And then you've got all the new souls who are sort of going, don't leave us. We need you. Help. And they're kind of, you say, well, why are so many people asleep and is humanity failing? No, it's always been like this. However, you're at a critical moment where a whole section of humanity, I'm still using that very generalized term, which includes all these beings, and are going to go into leadership, are going to evolve, are going to open up pathways, move through this portal of transformation. Some have already done it and are sort of there holding the gate open, if you like, for others. And that is the evolution of humanity. If you look back, there have always been small groups that lead the consciousness forward, and there have always been, unfortunately, the casualties of change and transformation. So that's what's happening right now. And we cannot make generalizations, because there are vast sections within what we're calling humanity who can't wake up. It's not that they won't, they can't. They're not here to wake up. They're not going to wake up. This is going to be a lifetime where they meet their own darkness, their own pain, their own suffering, and there will be purpose in that. And the prayers of all the light workers mean that those who are ready on the edge and who could be pulled back, if you like, into the fold of consciousness, they will come back. And there will be those who will be taken, you could say, by the dark forces and go on a very much longer trajectory of evolution, of breaking down, of loss, of being lost, and eventually, depending on many factors, and there are many rescue workers working in the fourth and fifth dimensions to help beings, to give them the chance to come back to the center, to the heart divine. But it's very, very complex, and I would never say that there's any failure, because there can't be a failure in the divine plan. It may be that it's not understood, or it's interpreted and called this or that. But there's always an extraordinary perfection as beings evolve. Because everything emanates from the divine source and all beings return there. And there are creative impulses throughout this dimension of time and space and throughout all dimensions. Fourth, fifth, third, fourth, and fifth are where most of humanity is evolving. Sixth and seventh are angelic, ascended, and deity realms. Eighth, ninth, 10th, you're moving towards absolute Godhead in the 10th to 13th dimensions. So you understand, and those levels are beyond the mind and beyond your mind to comprehend. But that's all right, because when you get there, you will have everything you need, and you will become one with the divine source. So in short answer, no, there's no failure. There's never failure, in fact. And you look into your life and you look back into your life, you realize those things you may have called failures were the greatest opportunities for your success. Because only in understanding what, in a sense, didn't work can you make the adjustments and move towards what does work. And so you might say, well, is this all a big experiment? And I would have to say to you, well, basically, yes. All creation is in a constant state of flux and change. We could say God, Goddess, is playing, is creating constantly, changing, moving, flowing, bringing more opportunity. It is a wondrous, endless, eternal universe within which are wondrous, extraordinary, eternal souls evolving. And those who come in at the beginning and are new souls upon the earth, they depend upon the work of the conscious souls so that they can see where they might go. And so it goes on for all eternity. Peace.
Peace. We'll just ask one more question. Any other questions we'll get to next time. Charlotte Daya. Blessings and peace, Chung Fu and family. I'm wanting to learn about tie cutting. Can we ever tie cut to something that could accidentally interrupt our process, like bypassing the processing we need to do? Or can we only tie cut to things we are ready to let go of, and then the processing will happen anyway? Thank you.
It's a very interesting question, Charlotte. The thing is, what I think you're not quite seeing in there is that when you become aware of something, when you are in conscious ownership of the feelings that come up, the tie cutting is going on inside you. It's not really to do with outside. I realize that those are the stimuli. That's what comes in. That's how you get to feel things, because things happen on the outside. But tie cutting is an internal process. And so it can be in that sense with, for example, you said, well, I believe this is what you meant, and you might want to correct me, but that, do I have to have a tangible situation, like something I can really get my hands on? Is tie cutting still relevant when I'm, in a sense, just wanting to move past something that I don't really want to engage with? Now, my answer to you there is a bit like what I was saying at the beginning. Engagement is everything. Your engagement within yourself, with the truth, your soul's truth that's trying to be presented to you from within. This is of vital importance. And so you can tie cut, in a sense, with that. Again, I hope I've understood you, but with that situation of really just not wanting to have anything to do with something, wanting to just tie cut from even wanting to connect with that. But really what it is no. You see, what you're really doing there, what you really need to do there is to absolutely understand what it is inside you that you're basically afraid of or trying to avoid. First of all, connect with just the feeling of that. What is that? What is it that, um, what does it mean to engage with that place? Can you find that feeling? Can you find that sense of I don't want to go there. I don't want to get involved. I don't, because that is exactly what you need to become aware of, declare, and in that sense give away to the fire, and to bring back to yourself as you let that whole thread go, that whole thread of I'm afraid. Basically, I'm afraid of what I'm going to see. I'm afraid of what's inside me. I don't want to go there. And you put all that unwillingness in the fire, because that's all it is, just a misunderstanding, because your soul only ever asks you to go to where you need to go. And so as you put that emotional misunderstanding, that lack of information, and that, that fear that you've grown as a result, as you put that in the fire, you find this incredible energy comes up in you. That honors life, that wants to do it all to the very, nitty gritty truth. You want to absolutely engage. Oh, look at that. And you feel the energy of what is authentic, that was being hidden over by that unwillingness. That actually everything, every day, every moment, your soul is showing you from inside yourself the truth. It's showing you see, and the truth might be a bit uncomfortable, a bit unpleasant. You don't have to labor on it, but as you realize it, as you understand yourself more, as you come in with compassion, and you pull out that old feeling of I don't want to go there. I don't want to deal with. I, I I just want to be nice and have a beautiful life. And as you realize you're blocking yourself from something much deeper, what happens is a whole load of energy floods into your body, and you realize, that was what my soul was trying to tell me. Go there, get involved, get connected, engage inside with all that your soul is trying to say to you. Just listen, and everything will shift from there. Now, I hope I have understood your question. If not, please do just give Charlotte a chance to come back, and peace.
Well, I would just like to say that we have a program that we're working with through I forget the man's name, the chap that
Monsef.
Yeah, what's his name?
Monsef.
So a chap called Monsef, and he has a show called Your Divine Uniqueness. So I'll post a link in the descriptions of this video once it's been uploaded after this live stream, to a link to the show where you can listen to the replay of this show, where this lovely chap interviews Sally and Chung Fu and Sophie, and Chung Fu talks about this new program we're offering. Maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's called it's really exactly about the subject that Charlotte brought forward there. It's about tie cutting. It's called Strengthening the Bonds of Love and Cutting the Ties That Bind. And it applies, basically to all subjects that are causing you, in that sense, discomfort, that are holding you back. It could be anything from relationships to, your attitude to food, or your emotions, your children. It can be anywhere where you are literally bonded in. So you're bonded to yourself because you are your greatest creation, and all the time you're really just working on you. You really are just bringing more power from your highest self to help you go deep. So we work with Shungite. We work in the Shungite temple because that is the deepest holding crystal, dark crystal, with the power to absorb negative energy. So that is something very strong that we're going to start with, going deep into the Shungite temple within the earth, to help you to let go, to start really kind of loosening inside you the places that need your attention, your focus. We do a big ceremony in there. Then we have three parts to this journey. I think they happen every couple of weeks, and this is to help you focus on letting go, really letting go of what you don't need, that's blocking the channels of your being, and that is, in that sense, preventing you from exactly being able to express your truth with love and compassion, with deep sincerity, and with honor, honoring everything you've been through and realizing you're a beautiful human being. And within you is an incredible power of love. And you can strengthen those bonds of love when you feel confident about yourself, when you know you're in your truth, you're in your integrity, you're walking your honest path, and that brings so much more strength to you. And also when you identify what is yours, it helps you, of course, see, oh, I thought that was him or her, and oh no, it's me. And when you identify what is yours, you see, you're the only one that can work on you. No one else can work on you. You see, only you, only the work that you do makes deep and permanent change in your being. So yes, and basically we work with all of that, with giving away the old, with understanding the power of positive uh, mantra and affirmation, of creation power that's within you. And then, of course, we work with gratitude, with expansion, with love and celebration. So we move from, in a sense, deep inside into opening up to divine presence and the power of your higher self to really bring transformation and change. It's very exciting and it's really necessary at this time. Peace.
Peace. I think the link to watch the replay is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Sally, but I will post the link to the replay of that show if you want to check that out. But also, if you do want to go deeper with Chung Fu for a one-to-one, you can always email us at info@deepsoulconnection.com. Yeah, and if you haven't joined the Students of Chung Fu Facebook group, that's just Students of Chung Fu on Facebook. So do pop along and join that community. We're close to like 300 people together now, joining up there. So come and bring your love and get involved there. And do give this video a little like and a share and help this message get out there to all of our beloveds. And thanks for coming and being with us today.
And I just like to give a little blessing to you all. Thank you for gathering. And the power of the group is very great. I know it's being interfered with at the moment, but have no fear. Freedom will return. All your joys and pleasures, they will all be available to you. This is a temporary experience. Remember that. On one level, everything on earth that you are experiencing is, in that sense, temporal and temporary. So I really want to remind you of that, and for you to stay in the truth of your joy, to remember you're here for pleasure, for delight, for fun, for joy. Remember that. That is the truth of your soul. You're not going to be happy if you're in misery, negativity, pain, and, loss. And if you are experiencing that right now, remember it's temporary. You are here to lift up this planet and the consciousness of everyone on this planet. And that is what you both have prepared for and are still preparing for. And that opportunity, that's close now. So we give thanks today to all of you for gathering and creating group power, because that's very important. So do indeed Find out if you got friends amongst the group. Communicate together. That is very important in the world at this time. Give thanks to all guides and helpers, family, relations, and ancestors. Give thanks to all ascended beings, angelic and archangelic beings and deities. We give thanks to all elemental beings, spirits, powers, deities of earth, air, fire, water, and ether. We give thanks to all your allies, familiars, relations, beloveds, who dwell inside the light body of the earth and all around the earth and all the elements and throughout other dimensionalities. We give thanks to all beings for bringing gifts and blessings for you upon the earth, who come and connect with you, assist you, support you, and bring their intelligence and understanding and all their qualities and gifts for your highest good and for the evolution of souls. And so we strengthen the bonds of light and connection and love to all the beings who are part of our network as we reach out to each other and through each other to those who are in each circle and through each circle to the next circle. And we give thanks for the overlighting protection, the love, blessings, peace, grace, and beauty, the power, strength, wisdom, inspiration, illumination, healing, and compassion of the all-in-one divine presence deep within each and every one, stretching out all the way around the earth and all the way into the higher dimensions of the spirit world. Blessings and peace.
Blessings and peace. Thank you all for coming and being with us. And we'll see you again soon. Ciao
Great
for now.
love.
Great love.
Farewell.